The Economist found that India had 3 of the cheapest cities in the entire world. If you're traveling there, you're gonna find average low prices starting at, we got $3.30 for a bed in a hostel, $7.60 for your own private room, and a dinner for $2.94 for 2 people. Is India still cheap in 2020? You bet it is. And in this video, if you're planning your trip and looking to estimate your expenses, I'm gonna go through exactly how you can see how much lodging, food, transportation, entertainment, and shopping will cost you now. I'm Ben Jenks. I give India travel tips here at my YouTube channel and on my website, Nomad. And today I'm tackling this problem of how cheap is travel in India today and how can we estimate our costs so that we know what we're getting into. And if you're thinking about traveling to India, you can know about how much it's going to cost you and hopefully have a great trip that you will always remember. Now, I'm basing a lot of what I found in this video on research I'm doing on modern tools that I will show you, and also from a recent trip that I took with my family. We're at the Taj Mahal. I tracked all my expenses, and I'm gonna share those with you now.
Wait just 1 minute.
Quick interruption. If you're interested in planning a trip to India and want travel tips from someone who's lived here for years, please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell for notifications.
Back to the action.
So first off, let's start off with my trip. I did a mid-range budget trip, which means that I wasn't in hostels. I was staying in 3-star hotels, even 1 5-star hotel. We had tour guides, we had private drivers some days. And then other times we would eat just fruit for lunch, or we would have the breakfast included, or we would walk or take rickshaws. So it's not a budget trip, it's not a luxury trip, it's a mid-range trip. And I spent $65 every day for that trip, including expenses such as visa and travel insurance, which I will talk a little bit more about later. I spent $21.94 a day on lodging, $10.59 per day on transportation, including 2 domestic flights, 12 hours in taxis, countless rickshaws, and 1 ferry, which was 6 rupees. Food cost me about 10 bucks a day. Entertainment, so we're talking tours and those tour guides, admission to monuments, that was $6.10 per day. And other miscellaneous expenses cost me $2.31. All right, so those are the numbers. Now, how does that help you? Well, I hope that that gives you a baseline for a middle of the road sort of trip. Things that we did were we went to 5 different destinations over 15 days. Driving to Agra. Leaving Agra Fort, Fatehpur Sikri. We are in Khajuraho at the Love Temple. Okay, ladies, smile. We are at the Periyar Animal Reserve, Tiger Reserve, the Kerala Backwaters. So let's say you're on this video because you want to have the lowest cost trip possible. This gives you an idea that for 65 bucks, this is what you can get. Now let's go through specific examples of the lowest prices you could pay for major travel expenses, such as, let's start with preparation for your trip. You will need to pay for things like your visa. So every country in the world needs to have a visa to come to India. You can get it online. It's typically $26 at this current time. It does change. And it is relatively simple as far as visas go. I got mine in less than 48 hours. I was approved for it. At about 3 to 4 weeks before my trip is when I applied. And it was a relatively painless process. So I will include the website if you want to go get your visa. I'll also include a service that will do your visa for you. Let's say I have friends who they started doing their visa, and you know, it is slightly complicated. It's a government website, and the English is in Indian English, so it may not be your thing, or you may want to devote zero time to it. If so, you can check out the link for that. Okay, now moving along, travel insurance. Do you need travel insurance or not? I actually made a video discussing this, so go check that out. I'll also include that in the link. But for most people, you're going to want to get travel insurance, and it can be as little as 40 bucks a month or as high. The average price for the most comprehensive travel insurance is 160 bucks a month. So it's not super expensive, and I recommend it because I know for myself, when I'm traveling, you know, you're laying up some nights and you're thinking about what could go wrong. And the fact that I had travel insurance more nights than not helped me sleep a little better. I haven't had to use my travel insurance, but I've always had it, and I think it's a smart idea. Let's talk destinations. So India, I said earlier, The Economist had 3 Indian cities that were the cheapest in the country. Now, those 3 cities are some of the most expensive travel destinations in India too. So overall, most destinations you're going to go to are inexpensive. But it goes without saying that if you're staying in Mumbai, a huge cosmopolitan city, your expenses are going to be more than if you're staying where I live out here in a small city in southern India, where it's $167 for one of the nicest places in town. In Mumbai, you're probably going to pay $400, $500, $600 for a similar place. So I looked on the website Numbeo. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it estimates the cost of living based on residents giving their data. So I looked at the top 7 cities on there. So we got Mumbai. You're going to pay $350 if you're a resident there without factoring rent. Now, Kochi, which is down in South India, beautiful place, is $279 for monthly expenses. So you can see that's what, like a $70 difference, and or what about 20% difference? So there can be a significant difference in price based on where you go, and also what you do, which we'll talk about later. So if you're looking to spend the lowest price, like that's our challenge. As I was looking through this, I was like, how can I find good hotels without bed bugs, without terrible reviews, for you to potentially look at and get an idea of how much you would have to pay for lodging. So what I did is I went on the hotel booking app, booking.com. I filtered it based on 10 different popular tourist destinations, and then I only looked at accommodation places that had 25 reviews or more and a score of 7 or higher. So it's basically only good places that a number of people have stayed at and given reviews for. So as you can see here, the average cost is $3.30 for hostels. So we're talking shared bed with 6 or 10 other people in your room. The average out of the 10 tourist destinations, there were hostels that had 136 reviews was the average number of reviews, and they're getting scores of 8.3. So in general, even though these are the lowest priced places in these cities, the people are giving it great reviews. So if you want the hostel experience, you have a number of options in major tourist destinations. What if you want a basic private room, a hotel or a guest house? This is how I've always done it, and the average cost for the lowest priced private rooms, again with those 25 reviews and a score of 7 or above, we're talking $7.60 per night. And these hotels are getting 155 reviews on average with a score of 7.9. So again, these are getting almost great reviews for $7, for almost the same price as what you would get for like a supersized Big Mac meal in the US. You're staying in a guest house in some of the most popular tourist destinations in India. Now, if you want to go cheaper than that, You can take a risk by going to hotels that have 0 reviews or less reviews, or finding a place that's not on a popular app like Booking.com. What I would recommend for that, here's a tip: you book 1 or 2 nights in the city you want to go to using this app on a hotel that gets good reviews, and you stay there at first. Now, as you're staying there, you then go around and look for a cheaper hotel and see the places for yourself. Doing that, you can probably find a cheaper place that's also pretty good. Another tip with lodging is, before you pay your bill and agree to be at this hotel, you want to do 2 things. First, check out the room, see if you like it. Second, ask them if they are going to charge you any extra taxes and fees and what they might be. If they say, yes, we're going to charge you for this and that, ask them, well, has anyone ever not had to pay that? And then what you want to do is just negotiate not to pay those fees or get fewer charges there. Another major travel expense is transportation. So we're talking about domestic flights, we're talking about taxis, rickshaws, buses, trains, bike rickshaws, scooters, that sort of thing. So again, I'm looking to help you find the lowest priced options here. So if we're talking the lowest priced options, let's start with trains, because they're the best for long distance travel. For instance, when I was staying near the Taj Mahal, we took an overnight train that was 8 hours to go to the smaller city of Khajuraho, where the Kama Sutra temples were. And that was we got a 3rd class ticket, which still has AC, is a sleeper ticket. We had our own beds, and it was less than $15 for that trip. So we're talking reasonable prices. Now, let's talk about another popular route. So most tourists fly into Delhi, and another destination people like to go to is Varanasi, which you definitely should. This is about a 12-hour trip, and so for a 3rd class ticket, it's going to be estimated 790 rupees, which is about 10 bucks. If you want to go for a 1st class ticket, you're going to pay 35 bucks. If you want a 2nd class ticket, you're going to pay 20 bucks. If you want a general sleeper class, so you have a berth but it's not reserved, you can pay as low as 5 bucks. And for the general compartment, it's $3. Now, I recommend the 3rd class. It is still crowded. It doesn't feel like a luxury experience by any sense of the word. But you're going to be able to sleep. You're going to be able... Often there's friendly people. You will meet some Indians. There were people in our berth, and they were very nice. And it can be half as cheap as the 2nd class ticket. So if you want to save money, yet still be comfortable, go with the 3rd class ticket. For shorter trips, local buses are dirt cheap in India. I'm talking like for a 4-hour trip, you could spend $2 or $3. Now, with this, if you're taking local buses specifically, what you're paying for partially is it's going to take you a bit longer. It's going to be uncomfortable. The seats are not very cushy, and there's not AC, and there might be standing room only. It's also going to be difficult to figure out how to get where you need to go. It's not like a Greyhound station where it's like, Delhi, come to this gate at 2 o'clock. It's more like you have to go into the bus station and ask around multiple people to sort of get a group consensus on where this bus will be, and it's likely it's going to be late, 30 minutes to a half an hour late. That being said, if you want the true local experience and an inexpensive way to do it, buses are a great way to go. It is an adventure, and yeah, you'll have something to talk about. Now, if you want to go with a more luxury sleeper bus, they are available too, and you can order them on an app called Red Bus. I took a look at it to estimate some prices, and I see that so Delhi to Varanasi that's the same. It's $20 for an AC sleeper bus, or $11. There were a number of options, and there were different prices. A Delhi to Agra ticket, which is 4 hours, is about $5 to $6.50. Agra to Jaipur is about a 5-hour trip, and that's $4 to $13. And Jaipur to Delhi is about $6.50 to $10. So it's about the same cost as what you'd spend for a third class train ticket. However, it's another option for you to use. Sometimes when I was booking train tickets, they weren't always available. Food. A lot of people come to India for food, and Indian food is delicious. It's very reasonably priced. Local meals can be as low as $1 or $2. I'm going to show you some specific low-priced restaurants in major destinations in the research that I did. But I've eaten at a local place here. I ate there every day. I paid about $2.50 for a masala dosa, which is a thin, savory pancake filled with potatoes and curry, folded over with a few chutneys, and then I added 3 eggs and a parota and a chai, and this was $2.50 from a safe local restaurant. Now, I've also been in a place like Bangalore and went to a nice restaurant and had a delicious beef steak for like $12 US. On my trip with my family, we went to this 5-star hotel / restaurant. And we had these 12-hour roasted lamb shanks, and our entire bill for 3 of us was $150. So you can spend more and get delicious quality food. However, if you're checking out this article, or excuse me, this video, then you're probably going to want the lowest prices. So let's take a look at how we can find good restaurants that we will not get sick on for good prices. So what I did was I went to Zomato.com. This is a food delivery app in India, and it estimates about how much a dinner is for 2 people. So then I went to 10 popular tourist destinations again, and I found that the lowest priced restaurant with the best reviews are going to cost you about $2.94 for 2 people. Can you believe that? That's less than $2 a person for a well-rated meal. The score on these restaurants was an average of 4.02 out of 5, and there were 584 reviews on average. So in big cities, some of these places had 1,000 reviews. We are talking about street food that can be as low as 100 rupees for 2 people. The averages did go up slightly because in some of the smaller tourist destinations like Manali, there's less lower cost options than what you're going to find in a street food capital like Mumbai. So in big cities, you're going to find tons of low cost options. So look around for them and go to a popular restaurant with a lot of reviews, or if you're walking down the street, they have a line, go to that place, and you should reduce your risk of getting sick significantly. I would not go to the cheapest place you could find or the deserted place because it doesn't have a line and you want to get in quick, because now you're running the risk of getting sick in India and potentially having to pay in medication or pay in hospital bills or other not fun things. Entertainment is another main expense for travelers, and so for myself, for example, admission fees to monuments and tourist destinations was an expense that we paid for. So today, the Taj Mahal for a foreigner is going to be an admission cost of $1,300. So we're talking almost $20 to get into the Taj Mahal. Most monuments are much cheaper. I'd say about 500 rupees or $7 US. That's the average price that I saw. Smaller monument places, like for instance in Agra, there's a place, another tomb similar to the Taj called the Baby Taj. That's 210 rupees, so about $3. But in general, you're going to pay between $3 and $7 for your monument fees and admissions. There also might be a camera fee at some places. If you'd like to party in India, you can find some options in big cities or beach destinations like Goa or Pondicherry. I wanted to get an average price about how much alcohol cost in India. So I looked at Numbeo.com, at their alcohol prices in restaurants, and I'm seeing that domestic beers are on average about $1.66. Imported beers are $3.50, and a bottle of wine is about $8.63. Now it does vary in certain places, but alcohol prices are pretty reasonable and even low cost if you're comparing them to like New York City or a big city in the West, or probably Paris or Italy or Europe as well. Miscellaneous entertainment, such as India has some of the lowest cost yoga trainings in the world. I had a friend who paid less than $1,000 for a 2-week training, including lodging and food. However, a similar price training in Bali would be over $3,000 without food or lodging. On the other hand, there are certain tours and experiences in India that you're going to pay a premium price for. For example, going on a houseboat tour in the Kerala backwaters. Now this is a popular honeymoon activity, and a couple could spend per night 17,000 rupees, or about 221 US dollars. Most people take a weekend trip, some people take a week-long trip, and it is a beautiful, peaceful experience, but you're going to pay a bit more for it. If you do want to see the Kerala backwaters, and I recommend them, we had a wonderful time there. We took a half-day trip, or like a 3 to 4 hour trip on a non-motorized boat, and it was less than $50 US. If you really want to save money, there is an 8-hour ferry going from Alleppey to Kollam for 300 rupees, which is about less than $4. Another expensive entertainment option is trekking. There are some beautiful Himalayan hikes in India. You're going to pay between 6,000 and 10,000 rupees to start for a 2 or 3 day trip, and the price only goes up more from there. This does not include your own gear that you're going to have to supply and other things. However, you can see beautiful sights that you wouldn't see anywhere else in the world, such as the Valley of Flowers in the Himalayas. I also made a video of my $167 a month house and gave you a quick tour with some other cost of living items in the city that I live in. You can check that out in the link below.